few weeks ago, quite unexpectedly, the Terra USD got unpacked from a dollar value, bringing down the whole Terra ecosystem and wiping out 95% of investors' wealth just overnight. The Terra USD, which was considered to be a stable coin, went from $1 to just 5 cents, and this led to investors losing $20 billion. And that happened just overnight. After that, all stablecoins fell under a new wave of scrutiny from investors. Some people even began to question USDT, and some people began to claim that it is a scam. And after watching this video, you will become a stablecoin expert. We will go over all types of stablecoins that exist out there. Then we'll evaluate top 5 stablecoins, going over all of the pros and all of the cons of each of them. And finally, I'm gonna reveal which stablecoins I use. This research took me a few days to complete, and also I have prepared a free Google spreadsheet that you can download by the link in the description. Therefore, I would really appreciate if you would smash the like button and follow the Vesper channel. My name is Arseny, and let's get started. Now, let's begin with the definition of stable coin. So, stable coin, to put it simply, is just a coin that is stable. The thing with cryptocurrencies is that they really suffer from great volatility. There are a lot of swings upside, a lot of swings downside, and most of the traders can actually benefit from this volatility. But for the regular users, this would be a little bit inconvenient. So that's when stable coins are introduced. They are stable, they do not suffer from volatility, they do not fluctuate, and they're usually pegged to a value of another currency or commodity. And most of the stable coins are pegged to the value of US dollar. Which means that one stablecoin equals always $1, which means that you can come in, take your stablecoin, your crypto dollar, and exchange it for one real dollar or fiat dollar anytime, can't you? Now let's step back from crypto and talk about the US dollar. So for almost 200 years, the US dollar was backed by gold, and this was called a gold standard. This meant that you could take your cash, let's say $100 bill, you could come to the bank and you could give this $100 bill, and in return you will get a small piece of gold. And this gold that you would get in return would serve as a collateral. It would serve as a proof that there is actually some fundamental value to the US dollar. The thing with the gold is that gold for hundreds of thousands of years always had a value. It was used as a collateral because people could rely on gold. Now let's come back from real world to crypto world. And the question is, do stablecoins have a collateral? Are they backed by something? And yes and no. Some of them are, some of them are not. And that's why there are 5 different types of stablecoins. Let's go over each of them. Now, the first and the most popular type of stablecoins are fiat-collateralized stablecoins. The top 3 stablecoins by market capitalization are fiat-collateralized. This includes USDT, the first stablecoin ever, USDC, and BUSD. Usually they're backed by 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that for every crypto dollar, for every stablecoin, there is one actual dollar. Now let's go for a quick demo. So this is the official Tether website, the website of the biggest stablecoin right now. And you can see here that they mentioned that they're 100% backed and fully transparent, which we will actually question later in this video. And as you can see here, if we go to how it works, you can see here that they mentioned that all Tether tokens are pegged at 1-to-1 with the mentioned fiat currency and are backed 100% by Tether's reserves. And indeed, if you sign up, you can then log in and you go through identity verification. You can essentially provide your Tether USD, and in return you will get real USD to your bank account, or you can do the opposite. Now, the second type of stablecoins are commodity-collateralized. They're backed by precious metals or even real estate. And the most famous one is Tether Gold, which is run by the same company that runs Tether USD, and its market cap is quite big. This is one of the biggest stablecoins. But the only problem with commodity-collateralized stablecoins is that usually they are much more volatile, and they are stablecoins by definition because stablecoins are the ones that are pegged to a value of another currency or commodity. So indeed the value of tethered gold is pegged to the value of real gold, but even the real gold, the price of real gold, it fluctuates based on the market supply and demand forces. I mean, it doesn't fluctuate as much as like Bitcoin or Ethereum or other altcoins, but still it does fluctuate. Now, the third type of stablecoins are crypto-collateralized. And you may ask yourself, wait, if we're trying to get rid of this high volatility that crypto gives us, then why would we ever use crypto for collateralizing, for backing a stablecoin, something that needs to be stable? And I get it, it appears to be a little bit, or actually very bizarre, but in fact, there is a way to solve this issue. So for fiat-collateralized and commodity-collateralized stablecoins, the backup ratio is 1:1, but for crypto-collateralized stablecoins, this backup ratio is 1.5:1, which means that for 100 stablecoins that are crypto-collateralized, there is a collateral which value is $150, and this reserve would provide more safety, and it would just cover all of the price fluctuations that take place so often with the crypto. And the biggest boy here is DAI, which we will go over in detail later. It is run by MakerDAO, so it is run by decentralized organization. It is completely decentralized. No one has an access to it, and all the decisions are made not by singular organizations, but rather by the whole crypto community that use this stablecoin, which is kind of cool, but there are some downsides to it. Now, the fourth type of stablecoins are the ones that are non-collateralized. So they are not backed by anything, like US dollar, by the way. Yeah, you heard it right. The official US dollar is not backed by anything except for the trust that people put into the government, into the US as a country. Because at some point in 1970s, the President Nixon decided to abandon the gold standard. Yeah, now US dollar is not backed, which is not cool. So this type of stablecoin relies only on decentralized algorithm that changes the supply of the token to influence its price. So if the price of non-collateralized stablecoin falls below $1, it's just gonna buy back, it's just gonna burn the stablecoin. So it's going to decrease the supply, and therefore it's going to increase its price. And this is called the contracting supply policy. But if the price of the token now is greater than the price of US dollar, it's going to provide more, it's going to print out more of these stable coins, and this is called the expanded monetary policy, and the price of the stable coin will come back to the value of $1. And yes, this seems to be the least trustworthy type of stable coins, and in fact it is. The UST was a non-collateralized stable coin, and another very big non-collateralized stable coin is called Ampleforth, and it also got the peg from the value of $1. Therefore, I would really do not recommend use any non-collateralized stablecoins, because people right now do not believe in them after the crash of UST, and therefore I do not think that anyone should actually use this type of stablecoins ever. Now, the last type of stablecoins are hybrid stablecoins, and they're both collateralized, meaning that they're backed by something, and at the same time they also rely on the algorithm. The biggest hybrid stablecoin is Frax, and in fact it takes the 6th place amid all stablecoins in terms of the market capitalization. This type of stablecoins are quite new, they're not popular amid users, and on top of that they're mostly decentralized. Frax, for example, is not listed on big exchanges. The most popular place to get it is on Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, so it's not that mainstream. That's why I would not really focus on this type of stablecoins in this video. Now let's focus on top 5 biggest stablecoins out there. Now, actually, we're gonna focus on the top 4 because the Magic Internet Money is a very new project. It is less than 1 year old. The team behind the project is anonymous, and although its market capitalization is over 1 billion, its trading volume is really small. It is just around 10 million. Whereas for DAI, the 4th stablecoin, the trading volume is over 300 million. Which is 30 times more. So that's why we're gonna focus on just 4 biggest stablecoins. And now, yeah, let's get to it. Let's break down each one at a time. Now let's start with the DAI, the only crypto-collateralized and decentralized stablecoin in our list. So the DAI is the part of Maker ecosystem, which is the biggest decentralized ecosystem out there. Therefore, it is run and governed by a decentralized organization via means of through voting. So if you want to be the part of this decentralized government, you need to be holding the governance Maker DAO tokens, and the more tokens you hold, the more voting power you will have. So if you hold a lot of Maker DAO tokens, you're interested for them to go up and appreciate, and therefore you're less likely to make bad decisions for the token and for the whole ecosystem. So it is 100% democracy here. Now DAI token, because it is crypto collateralized, it is backed with the ratio of 1.5 to 1. So for every $150 worth of collateral, there is only $100 of the issued DAO stablecoin. And there are two ways that you can actually get DAI. The first one, you just go on any centralized or decentralized crypto exchange. DAI is listed on Binance, on all of the biggest centralized exchanges, and you just come there and you buy DAI with any other stablecoin. But before this DAI got to the crypto exchange, before it got to Binance and before you bought it, what actually happened, it was issued when a user came and provided a collateral. So let's step back again from crypto and talk about the pawn shop. So let's say that you have gold bars that are worth of $10,000 and you don't want to sell them right now because you believe that the gold will appreciate in the long term and that it's going to be more valuable in the future. But at the same time, you have a very great urgency for money. You need to get your money right now, but you don't have any cash and you don't want to sell your gold bars. So what's the solution? You go to the pawn shop. So you give these gold bars that are worth of $10,000, and in return, you're gonna get a loan with some interest rate. And let's say that you got a $5,000 loan. So in a year, and also you're gonna pay the interest rate. So in a year, you're gonna come back to the pawn shop. Now you have a bunch of money. Let's say that you've made this money through IDOs and ICOs. If you do not know what's that, then watch that video. But the point is that you come back in a year's time and you provide $5,000 plus, let's say 10% interest rates. So you're gonna give back $5,500 and you get your precious gold back. And it works in the same way with DAI. So you take your Ethereum, or I now actually accept many more cryptocurrencies. So you take your crypto, you provide $150 or more worth of your crypto, and you're gonna get a loan which is gonna be worth of only $100 or more. I mean, again, the ratio is 1.5 to 1, and the interest rate that you're gonna pay is 8%. So if you borrowed $100 in a year, you're gonna give back $108. And also you gotta pay for the commission fees, the gas fees for the transactions. And actually, let's go through a very quick demo. So this is the official website of MakerDAO, and here you're gonna go to use DAI, and you'll get to Oasis app, which is the app that you use for getting your loans. And you're gonna connect your wallet. Let's say that I've connected my MetaMask. Now you can see different products. Let's say that you just need to get a simple loan. So you go here, you go to borrow. You also need to send a message. And now here you're gonna deposit your Ethereum. Let's say that you deposit one Ethereum, which is almost $2,000 right now. And you just tap proxy and you get your loan. So this process is very easy, doesn't require any identity verification like you would do in the banks. DeFi is decentralized finance, is what's gonna make a revolution in the finance industry in the next couple of years. And again, this is how DAI is issued. So the DAI cannot be just printed out like in the case of UST or non-collateralized stablecoins. So the DAI is issued only and only in the case if it is backed by collateral, if someone got a loan on it. For example, I've used Compound, which is another decentralized finance protocol, and that was when I didn't really know about the DAI. So I came to Compound, I've supplied some Ethereum, and I got $1,500 of a loan. And the interest that I'm paying right now on the loan is $3.6. And I used this loan to purchase Step and sneakers. I didn't have like enough cash back then, so that's why I decided to use the Tether to buy like 6 or 7 sneakers. So this whole DAI thing is really convenient, really cool. And also what's important is that they have something that is called emergency shutdown. And this gets initiated if enough MakerDAO voters vote for this emergency shutdown to happen. But in the case of a black swan, something that happened to USD, like a very big important event that no one expected, if something like this happens, the community can decide to make a shutdown, and this is gonna prevent people from taking out their collateral, which could in theory make DAI collapse. But again, this is unlikely. This is not really likely to happen. This didn't happen before, and even if there is this kind of event, everything just gets blocked. If there is like a very big crisis, let's say that Bitcoin drops like to $1 and everyone is going to be panicking, the DAI still won't be depegged because this shutdown protocol is going to be triggered, and therefore everything is going to be frozen. No collateral is going to be taken out, and that's why DAI is really resilient stablecoin. Now, the next stablecoin that I would like to talk about is Tether USD or USDT, which is the biggest and the first stablecoin out there. Now, a lot of people are putting doubt into Tether stablecoin, but after USD crash, Tether withdrawals topped $10 billion, which means that the withdrawals were over 15% of the total Tether capitalization, and it did not collapse after that. Now, to give the point of reference, Washington Mutual, which was a conservative savings and loan bank in 2008, it became the largest failed bank in US history. So after the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers, Washington Mutual depositors panicked upon hearing this, and they withdrew 17 billion out of their savings over the next 10 days. And it was over 11% of Washington Mutual's total deposits, and the bank got shut down. With Tether, it was 15% that were withdrawn and nothing happened to it. This would be just a little message to all cryptocurrency doubters who do not believe in stablecoins and Bitcoin. USDT basically outperformed the biggest bank in the US back in 2008. And also what's important about this case is that by the end of 2007, many loans that this bank was giving out, they were more than 100% of the home's value, which means that the collateral amount was smaller than the loan amount. Like in the case of DAI, the collateral ratio was 1.5 to 1, and not more, not less than that. But here it was like 0.8 to 1, 0.7 to 1. This again proves that crypto finances, crypto industry has much better mechanics than the traditional finance sector. Now, if we go to Tether official website, we can go to transparency tab, and here we can see that there are 73 billion USDT in Tether, and we can see their current balances. Well, the last update was yesterday. We can see here that most of the Tether holdings are on Tron blockchain, some are on Ethereum, on Solana, on Omni, on Avalanche, Algorand, and other blockchains. Now we can also see that there were some audits, and we can see the reserves breakdown. So 85% of the reserves, of collateral reserves, are cash, 5% are corporate bonds, secure loans, and also other investments. Now, this all was a good part of Tether stablecoin. Now let's talk about its dark side. Now, when USD got unpacked from $1, same happened to USDT. I mean, not to such a great extent, but it got like to 97 cents. And although this was really quickly fixed, still this happened, and this made a lot of people to panic. Now, if we look at DAI, we can see that after USD crash, the lowest value that it got to during that month was 99.6 cents, so really it did not change. Now, the second concern about Tether is that it is run by a private company that does not even publish its official public address. The company is called Tether Holdings Limited, and it is located somewhere in Hong Kong. And again, no one knows where exactly. Now, also on their website, Tether, they officially say that we could go bankrupt, our bank could go insolvent, our bank could freeze or confiscate the funds. Now, another concern is that if you go to their website and you come back to the tab where they mention all of their reserves and where they say that they're transparent, you can see that the whole proof of these reserves are done by the companies that do the reports, that do the audits. and the company that does audit for the Tether is MHA Cayman, which is located on Cayman Islands, and this company does not really look to be trustworthy. Now, also because USDT is centralized, it means that it can blacklist certain addresses. So for example, if USDT decide that you appear to them as if you're trying to do some kind of scam, they can just block and they can just freeze all of your USDT assets. So these are some downside that USDT has, and although it's the biggest one and it appears to be the safest one, still always do your own research and be careful with the USDT. The second biggest stablecoin is USDC or USD coin. Unlike Tether that is run by a random private company somewhere in Hong Kong, USDC is launched and run by Coinbase and Circle. So Circle is a peer-to-peer payment company with a global presence, and it completed the acquisition of US-based crypto exchange Poloniex in 2018, and Coinbase is a Nasdaq-listed crypto exchange which is based in the US. So these companies are really legit. And another thing is that both these companies, they comply with the US regulations, and that's why USDC is officially US regulated stablecoin. Now, if we go to the Circle website, the website of USDC, we can see here that that right now the capitalization is $53.4 billion and that there is almost 1 million users. Also, you can see how quickly the popularity of USDC grows. But what is most important is the breakdown of its reserves. So here you can see that it uses cash as a backup and short duration US treasuries. And unlike Tether that is audited by unknown company somewhere on Cayman Islands, USDC is audited by Grant Thornton. And after the UST crash, they've claimed that the reports are gonna be done not every month, but every single week. And unlike the company that audits USDT, this one is almost 100 years old. Its revenue is like 2 billion, and this company is like really legit one. And that's why we can really trust that USDC is 100% backed up. Trust much more than in USDT reserves. Also, USDC source code is published on GitHub, which means that it is completely transparent one. Now, the third biggest stablecoin is BUSD or Binance USD. It is launched by Binance, which is the biggest centralized exchange, crypto exchange in the world right now, in partnership with Paxos. Now, what's important about BUSD is that it's the only stablecoin that is approved and regulated by New York State Department of Financial Services. So not only it complies with US regulations, but it is regulated by New York State Department of Financial Services. It is also audited regularly by Withum, which is another very legit auditing company. They have a lot of employees all around the world. They have a big team. The whole team is a public one, and this is really a legit firm. However, BUSD and USDC, because they're centralized, they have an ability to freeze some particular accounts if they want to. And this freeze function is even shown on their smart contract code on the Etherscan. Now, if we look what happened to BUSD after USD crash, we can see here that unlike USDT and UST that actually plummeted a little bit, USDT that plummeted a little bit and UST that crashed, the price of BUSD actually increased at that point and it got to $1.01. So as you can see, BUSD is another very legit, very big stable coin here. Now, another important factor that I would like to include in the evaluation is what happened to the popularity of each stablecoin after UST got crashed. So if we go to CoinGecko, we can see here that right after UST crash, which happened here, the popularity of Tether decreased. So we can see that market capitalization of Tether dropped from 83 billion to 73 billion, which is again was mentioned before when people are trying to get their money out of this stablecoin. Now, unlike Tether, USDC market capitalization increased, and it increased from 48 billion to around 53 billion. The market capitalization of Binance USD increased from 17 billion to 18.5 billion, and the value of DAI decreased from 7 billion to 6 billion. The market capitalization of Frax, the hybrid stablecoin, which is half algorithmic, also decreased from 2.6 billion to 1.4 billion. So Although DAI looks to be safe, again, nothing is financial advice here, but although it appears to be safe, and it is run by smart contract, by a really smart algorithm, and it is 150% backed, still it looks like people do not really insist a lot of trust in it, and this might be just because people do not put in enough research, and just when they hear that DAI is algorithmic, they have this kind of trigger that anything that is algorithmic after UST is going to crash in the future as well. But again, I personally hold money in DAI, and I believe that it's gonna be here for a long period of time. Now, another important part that I would like to bring up is that it is not really a good idea to just hold your stable coins. Now let's come back to our spreadsheet that I've prepared. You can download it absolutely freely by the link in the description. And again, if you appreciated the work that I've done, please smash the like button. So here you have different stable coins. I have sorted them in the descending order in terms of the market capitalization. And I've included UST just to show you as a reference. So you can see here that in terms of the collateral, UST is not collateralized by anything. Also, the UST was backed by Terra, whereas DAI is backed by MakerDAO, BUSD by Binance, USDC by Coinbase. Now, if you want to find a quick summary of the evaluation, then feel free to access the spreadsheet that I've prepared for you. It is absolutely free, and smash the like button if you did appreciate the work that I've done. Here you will find the 4 top stablecoins that we've discussed here, and also I have included UST just as a point of reference. And now the last point that I would like to make is about inflation. So if you store your stable coins in your account, this doesn't mean that their price does not necessarily change. The price of stable coins is pegged to the value of US dollar, but there is inflation. The price of US dollar is the same, but the value of US dollar goes down every single month, every single year, as the price of the consumer price index increases, meaning that everything else, meaning that Big Mac 20 years ago you could get it at McDonald's for $3. Now the least amount of money you need to pay is $6 or $7. So your money are essentially losing value over time. And right now in 2022, the inflation is skyrocketing. It is around 8.3%, which means that if you had $100 in the previous year, in a year's time, you're gonna be having just $92. And to prevent this from happening and to actually make your money work for you and to earn some passive income, you can use something called the interest-bearing protocols in crypto. And for that, you can be either using decentralized protocols, which interest rate is usually gonna be lower. It's gonna be like 6% for Tether and 5% for USDC. And in addition to that, for decentralized finance, it is not stable, which means that it depends on how much money are supplied, how many people are depositing the crypto right now at this point. So your interest rate might fluctuate, and anyway, it is lower than the inflation, so you're not going to be making any money whatsoever. So that's why I personally used the centralized solutions. I mean, overall, I believe that DeFi is better, but in this case, centralized solutions just bear you more interest and bring you more money in and bring you higher profits. And I've done some research about that. And when it comes to centralized solutions for making interest on your deposit, on your savings, the best ones, the ones that bear the highest interest are uHodler, that brings you 12 and up to 13% annual return on your saving account. And because uHodler is not accessible in the US, the second option that I use is HODL, that brings you almost 10% a year. There is also Nexo, which is one of the biggest ones, but again, Nexo is not allowed in the US. And Compound is the biggest one, I've shown it before, but Compound unfortunately brings you very low interest. It is decentralized, but the interest is crazy low. It is just a few percent. So that's why I use uHodler and I use HODL. And also there is Bold, but I haven't tried it out, so I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying that also it brings you really high interest on your saving account. So I hope that this video was very valuable to you, and don't forget to download the spreadsheet. The link for it is gonna be in the description. And if you did appreciate the work that I've done, then please smash the like button, smash the notifications button, not to miss out new information and to be the first one who gets it. because in crypto space, information, the speed of information is everything. And follow the Vesper channel, and also follow my Telegram announcement channel, Vesper Media. And yeah, my name was Arseny. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next videos. Bye.